from it. It was just sitting right here on the table. No, thank you. All right. I got the camera rolling for YouTube, so we need to go ahead and start here. I don't want to run out of film, but no. We're missing John Paul. Are they still? His wife, they're still sick. Yeah, I know they had a bad case of the flu this week and stuff, so I told them they'll get an excused absence if they stay out today. But and Helen, I'm not sure. Has anyone heard from Helen? No? Okay. Helen's usually here a little bit early, but she's not here today, so everything's all right with her. Maybe someone can reach out to her at some point. Who else are we missing? We got everybody else? All right. Welcome to Hebrew 4. Can you all see the screen okay there? You okay? Can you get a crick in your neck? This is Hebrew lesson 4, right? This is 4. And we have a new face, Calvin. Yeah. So everybody say hi, Calvin, if you get a chance. You can do it like that. I was messing with him saying that he has nothing better to do on a Saturday morning to come and learn a biblical language, but no, right on. Good to have you, Calvin. If you did not get one of these handouts, can you raise one of your appendages? Okay.
Well, I wish I would have used that.
Yeah. Believe me, my students do that at school. Okay, so today on our agenda, we're going to stop at 10 o'clock. What we're going to do is cover the alphabet again. We're going to review that. We're going to do that pretty much every time. We're going to review the alphabet and go over the final forms. And then we're going to talk about the names of our movement. And I took Adrian up on his suggestion. I asked for some suggestions because we're trying to do the last 15 minutes as kind of a foundations class. Hey, Eli, would you tell Noah to come out? Oh, he's coming, okay. We're going to do a foundations class and teach you one of the foundations of our faith, okay? And I think it's really interesting and a really cool topic to talk about the names of our movement, the names of our faith from the Bible, okay? We're going to talk about that today. Quick announcement, on February the 22nd, we'll be splitting the class. Who does not have a writing utensil? Anybody not have a writing utensil? Okay. There's one in the cup right there, Denise. I think Noah needs one. Anybody else need one? Okay, cool. Come prepared. Yeah, just Noah needs one. Do like in my class, you have to buy a writing utensil with push-ups. On the 22nd, we're going to be splitting the class. For those who have been through this multiple times, and maybe you can read Hebrew even if it very slowly, read it. I want to encourage you to challenge yourself and maybe break off. Denise is going to be taking a group of you. We think there's going to be about 8 to 10 of you from what I kind of went through and did an unofficial survey of people who feel like they're comfortable reading a little bit. Denise is going to take you and maybe go into the kids' room or upstairs and use the TV up there and take you into a more advanced track and talk about some more of the grammatical aspects of Hebrew and build out your vocabulary as well and just challenge you a little bit more because this is more of an elementary level for you guys and I don't want you to get bored with this. But so if you're interested in that, do me a favor at the end of class today, tell Denise that you're interested so we can get kind of an unofficial count and figure out who's interested. I know there's people here, people who are not here, who are interested in doing the more advanced track. And they're not here today because it's a little bit too basic for them. So I think we're going to have about anywhere between 10 to 15 on more larger scale, I think. So let's open in prayer, and then we're going to go to the Hebrew alphabet, okay? Heavenly Father, thank you so much for your Shabbat, this beautiful morning you've given to us. Thank you for the rain that you provided on our land the past couple days and the blessing that is to us. Father, I ask that you would be with those who are not here this morning, keep them safe, watch over them. And if there's anything going on, that you would bring them healing, and that you would bring them full restoration. Father, thank you for this opportunity to come together where we can study your language, the language of your scriptures, the language of the kingdom. And just open our hearts, open our ears, that we might perceive and see the wonders of your word and the treasures that are found in it. In Yeshua's name, amen. So let's go through the Hebrew alphabet. And we'll start, I'm going to say the name of the letter, and you guys repeat back the sound that that letter makes, okay? I'm going to say the name of the letter. You tell me the phonetic sound you think that letter makes, all right? Remember, we go Aleph, and we all go like this because the first letter, Aleph, is a silent letter, okay? Are you ready? Aleph, Beit, Gimel, Dalet, Hey, Vav, Zion, Chet, Tet, Yud, Kaf, Lamed, Mim, Nun, Samech, Ayin, Pei, Sadi, Kuf, Resh, Shin, Tav. All right, do it again, but a little bit faster. Aleph, Beit, Gimel, Dalet, Hey, Vav, Zion, Chet, Tet, Yud, Kaf, Lamed, Mem, Nun, Samech, Ayin, Pei, Sadi, Kuf, Resh, Shin, Tav. Oh, okay. Let's go around the room and let's say the actual letters of the alphabet, and we'll have mercy on Calvin and skip him today. So we're going to start with Aleph, and it goes Beit, and so on. We're going to snake around the room, and we'll do that. We'll make our way around. Let's say the alphabet 3 times that way, okay? So it's really important. Number 1, you say it loud, okay? So everybody can hear you. And then number 2, pay attention because you might be next without knowing it, okay? You ready?
Aleph.
Beit. Gimel.
Dalet. Hey.
Yeah.
Chet.
Yep.
Tet.
Chet, Tet, Yud.
Yud.
Skip Calvin.
Kaf.
Kaf. Seth.
Lamed.
Good.
Mem.
The N sound. Lamed, Mem, Nun.
Good.
There you go. Samech. Samech.
Hey.
Yep.
Resh. Tav.
Okay. Start over. Okay. Did you say it? Oh, I didn't hear you. Okay. Aleph, Bet, Gimel.
Hey.
Zion. Yeah.
Good.
Tav.
Lamed.
Mim.
Good.
Nun.
Samech.
Ayin.
There you go.
Hey.
It's the pizza. Sadi. Sadi.
Kuf.
Resh.
Good job. Ta. All right. One more time.
Gimel.
Dalet.
Hey.
Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet, Hey. No. Vav.
Hey.
Chet.
Tet.
Yud. Kaf.
Eli. Good.
Yud.
Samech.
Ayin.
Good.
Hey.
Yep.
Sadi.
Kuf.
Yep.
Resh.
Good. All right, good job. We're going to say it through one more time. Just say the alphabet, say the actual letters of the alphabet. Let's do it 2 times, one with this, one without, okay? So you guys are going to say Aleph, Beit, okay? Ready? Aleph, Beit, Gimel, Dalet, Hey, Vav, Zion, Chet,
Tet. Yud. Kaf. Lamed. Mem. Nun. Samech. Ayin. Pei. Sadi. Kuf. Resh. Shin. Tav.
Good. All right, I heard everybody nice and loud. All right, let's see if it gets any quieter now. All right, cover up your notes. You ready? Aleph, Beit,
Gimel. Dalet. Hey. Vav. Zion. Chet. Tet. Yud. Kaf. Lamed. Mem. Nun. Samech. Ayin. Pei.
Sadi, Kuf.
Resh. Shin. Tav.
That was just a little bit, everybody starts off loud to overcompensate, to make it sound like you're really, they always start off loud and then it slowly kind of tapers off, all right? But yeah, let's do flashcards real fast. You guys like Around the World? Did you like that last week? You want to do that? Caleb said yes? Okay, we're going to do it because Caleb said yes. All right, so Noah, it's going to be you and Raymond. You want to stand up? This gets you up and move. Okay, no, you stay seated. So Noah's going to stand next to you, and I'm going to flash a flashcard. So what letter would it be? Yeah, good. So if you say it first, then Noah takes your seat and you move on.
Oh,
And the
okay,
idea is that you travel all the way around.
Okay.
And the person who travels the farthest is the winner of the game. All right? You ready? Here's your first letter. Just messing with you.
Noon.
Ooh, that was Raymond by hair. Good job. Next one.
Noon.
Got it. Move on. Uh-oh. We got a serious contender, folks.
Are we supposed to be doing this with you?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah. No. I'm sorry. Now it's your turn.
Oh.
Yeah, we're all taking turns. Yeah, you're good. You ready? So Raymond and Denise.
Kate.
No, you're both wrong. Both wrong.
Oh, Tom.
Oh, that's Denise by hair. Good job. All right, Denise moves on. Are you ready?
Got it.
Oh, Bonnie by hair. Move on, Bonnie. All right, Bonnie and Eli. Bonnie and Eli.
Zion.
Good job. Move on. Bonnie and Sophie. Ready?
Hey.
Oh, Sophie got it by hair. All right, Sophie and Patrick. Patrick's been training all week for this moment. Try not to look. Ready? Hey, move on. Wait, what happened? You're not moving. Okay, so you're just not moving, but you're. Okay. Patrick says that was anticlimactic. You ready?
Scene.
Yeah, you got it. Move on. All right, you ready for this? Got it, Joshua? Sheen. Yep. All right, Calvin, you're exempt. Next week you'll have to play. You ready? Okay.
Kook.
All right, you got it by hair. Good job. Seth. All right.
Cop.
Cough. Move on. Uh-oh. Somebody's been studying.
Cop.
Good. Move on.
Wish.
Got it. Damn.
Top.
Got it. Alexis.
Hey.
Ooh, Caleb knocked her out. Caleb knocked her out. Stopped her.
Good job.
Yeah, now you're about to lose.
All right. Father and son. Here we go. Ooh. Was it a tie? I thought so too. Okay, here we go. Want a rematch?
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Bet.
Ooh, I'm gonna call Caleb on that one. He was Caleb. All right. She got it. I love that she kind of like shook her head. She was like, no. It's a vlog. In true like mom fashion, she was like, no. All right, Stephanie and Kristen, are you ready? Okay, yeah, move on. Anthony and Stephanie. All right. Uh-oh, Anthony's sitting up straight. Look at him. You ready?
He's tricking me.
Here we go. All right, Anthony, move on. Let's get this one. Brother and sister. Ooh, didn't stand a chance. All right. Daughter and father. Ooh, she got it. Ready?
Good.
Oh man, that was close. I'm gonna call it a tie. That was really close.
Bait.
Yeah, both of you got it. I'm gonna say tie again. That was close.
Give him.
Ah, I think that was her. I think it was Annie. Now we're to Nanny. Ready? Noon, you got it. Howard, Annie and Jackie.
No.
I think I couldn't tell. Did you say it first? I'm gonna use the honor system. Okay, move on, Jackie. You don't want to go? Come on, you got it. Just let somebody get you out, and then you can. Yeah. This thing. All right, Noah and Jackie. Here we go. Ready? Are you guys counting how far you travel? No. Todd, you got it. Move on. Howard, Jackie and Raymond. You ready? Ooh, I think it was Jackie by hair. That was close though. All right, Jackie and Jonathan. You ready? Ooh, Jonathan got it. Jackie says yes. Finally, sweet release. All right, you ready? Jonathan and Denise. Ah, man, I couldn't tell. Say it again.
Hey.
I think it's tie again. Let me try again.
Sin.
All right, yell it at me so I can tell who's going first. He's soft spoken, and you guys are getting like, ready? Shin. All right. Are you ready? All right, Jonathan by a hair there. Good job. All right, Eli and Jonathan.
Big.
Nope.
Sweet.
Nope.
Cough.
All right, Jonathan, move on. All right, you ready? Sophie and Jonathan?
Cough.
Got it. All right, skip the Micah. Sophie and Miss Joanne, welcome. Good morning. Ready?
Rish.
Got it, move on. Patrick and Sophie. Da-da-da-da.
Tough.
Got it, move on. Alexis and Sophie. It's going to be a good match.
Top. Hay.
Ooh, Alexis got it by a hair. All right. Let me see. Who's been Alexis? Alexis, who else? Annie? Who else went far? Jonathan went a few spaces. Alexis, Annie, and then who else went really far? Let's do Alexis, Annie, and Jackie. Come on up here. Come on. Let's do a championship round. Okay, stand right here, shoulder to shoulder. We'll do a championship round. You ready?
I got no chance against him.
Okay. No, you don't think? Okay, you ready? Everybody ready?
Love it.
Alright, so Jackie's out. You two now, because I think you two tied. You ready?
Olive.
Oh, that was Annie by hair. Good job. Annie's the champion. All right, then we have the final form letters. Oh, I need to plug my thing back. These are the final form letters. Somebody tell me what final form is this? This is a mem, a final mem. What is this? Final. Oh, this is not a dalet. This is a cough. Yeah, Denise said it's cough. How do we know? Because this is elongated. If I pulled the dalet out of here, it would be. Actually, can you pull? When you're working pulling the dalet out, this is elongated. It's much longer because there'd be like a line that runs across right here. That's the main difference with the dalet. All right. Yeah. Well, do we have a sonic in here? The thing with these flashcards is the font is really similar. Okay, good. I have. This font is really similar, and that's one thing I don't like about these flashcards. Is the Samic and the Mim are a little bit too similar. You don't normally see that, how close they look. That's not normally how, they don't look that similar. But this is a Samic, it's more rounded. This is a Mim, it's more boxy. Do you see the difference a little bit? But it's very hard to tell with these flashcards. So much so that I've put them both in here as final Mims. All right, then again, this is, let me show you the difference. A dalet and a cough, do you see that? The difference? So you see, one's elongated, one's shorter. Okay, that's the main difference. What about this? That's a final pay or fe, yeah, like Yosef. I don't know where Yosef's banner is at there. It's over there. Okay, you see the final pay and Yosef's banner there. Okay, then this is the final ka. What is this? Sadi. This is the final sadi. All right, and then this one, it looks like a vav. Yeah, but compared to a vav, you'll see that it's much longer than a vav, okay? But it looks a lot like a vav, right? And then this is a cough as well. You have a guttural cough and a non-guttural cough. Same thing, we have a cough that's guttural and cough. Okay? But good, those are the final forms. Let me plug my laptop back in and then we'll... see what comes up here. Okay, there we go. So these are the final forms, as you can see, just to review. This is the Kaf, Mim, Nun, Pe, Sadi. And then they don't change their sound, right? They only change their appearance. Same exact sound as they go across. And why are they final forms? Well, they're on the end of a word, right? They think maybe they're early, like primitive form of some kind of punctuation to delineate the end of a sentence or something like that. But We don't know for certain why we have these 5 letters that are various forms like this. But I believe Arabic has the same thing going on as well. Arabic has final form letters. We already did that. We already did around the world. There we go. My clicker's being weird. Everybody get a clean piece of paper. And like I said last week, we're going to do a quiz again on the first 15 Hebrew letters. So I want you to number your paper on the left-hand side, 1 through 15, okay? 1 through 15. And then when I say go, you're going to write as many of the Hebrew letters, the first 15 as you can, without looking at your notes or your phone. Patrick. You're going to take just a memory quiz, okay? And then we're going to swap at the end of 2 minutes, and I'm going to have you grade somebody else's and see if you can fill in blanks. Now, if you can't remember one, leave it blank, okay? Leave it blank. And then your neighbor might fill that in for you, all right? Everybody understand? Any questions? And then at the end of this quiz, I'm going to put the chart back up, and then you're going to correct your own self, okay? So first 15 letters. If you don't know one, skip it, all right? You ready? Go. Okay, you got a minute and a half still. And do your best to write the actual Hebrew symbol. Okay, don't write the word aleph or don't write the word beit. Write the Hebrew symbol if you can. Yeah. All right. You've got about 30 seconds left. 30 seconds. And I'm going to embarrass you by making you share it with your neighbor. 30 seconds. All right, 10 seconds. All right, time is up. Swap with a neighbor. Swap with a neighbor, and let them try to help you. Let them fill in your gaps. All right, take 1 minute and see where they went wrong. Let me check yours. We're gonna sure. 15 out of 15. Oh wait, that's me. All right, take about 30 more seconds. All right, I'm going to put the Hebrew chart back up here, so go ahead and give your papers back to the owner. Give the paper back to the owner. Did anybody get 15 out of 15? Everybody's tooting their own horn back there too.
Pet student.
Yeah.
You still got to put up with it.
Yeah, I'll get you a certificate later for that. That's all right. All right, let's So you should have Aleph, Beit, Gimel, Dalet, Hey, Vav, Zayin, Chet, Tet, Yud, Kaf, Lamed, Mem, Nun, Samet. All right. You'll notice it goes L, M, N, and then the Samet kind of looks like an O, doesn't it? It follows our alphabet to a certain extent. So we got like A, B. This would be like where the C would be D, but then it goes L, M, N, O as well. Where's that? Where? I can't see. Oh, there it is. L. I was looking for L. L, M, N, O, sort of. All right. Because our language is based off of this language. I mean, it's a long ways down the evolutionary train, but of languages. But anyways, so good job, guys. I noticed a lot of you were doing much better this week than last week with the 10 letters that you had to write. So next week, guess what you're going to do? Probably do all 22, yeah. So get ready. Keep going. Just keep writing it throughout the week. Say it 3 times a day. Maybe write it in the evenings or something. Quiz yourself. All right. What is this word here? Talamid. Good. What is this one? Besorah. Yeah, good. So this was the first week. What does this mean? A student. Yeah, a lifetime learner of someone. A talamid is we translate that into Christianese as a disciple, right? A disciple is a talamid. The gospel, yeah. Yeah, it's glad tidings, it's good news. Remember we said that this is something that a messenger would have brought his king after the king's army was victorious in battle. He would bring him good news, besorah, because he's victorious. He gets to stay on his throne, right? And then what was this? Shema. What does this mean? Hear with the intent to do. Yeah, I like that. Hear with the intent to obey or to do. All right? Does anyone try to read this word? Derek. Does anyone know what Derek means? A path or the way. Yeah, a way. The name Derek, if you know a guy named Derek, that's his name is a Hebrew name. It's Derek. Okay? It means way. If I put this letter in front of it, the letter Hey, that's going to say Ha-Derek. Ha-Derek. So the way Hebrew works is we take prefixes and we attach them and we add them onto the front of a word. And so instead of me saying the Derek, I say Ha-Derek. And it's one word still. Okay, so it's a little bit. And then if I had a suffix, like if I wanted to make it plural or possessive or anything like that, I would add it onto the end, and it'd still all be one word. So let me show you an example of these words in the text. Okay, Derek, and why this is going to be important. On Genesis 3:24. So he drove the man out. Who is he talking about? Adam, yeah. He drove the man out, and at the east of the Garden of Eden, he stationed the cherubim and the flaming sword, which turned every direction to guard the Derek. The way to the tree of life. The Derek to the tree of life, okay? So Genesis 6:12, Elohim looked on the earth. God looked on the earth, and behold, it was corrupt, for all had corrupted their Derek upon the earth. Genesis 18:19, for I've chosen him. Who would that be? In Genesis 18, you think? Abraham. I've chosen him so that he may command his children and his household after him to keep the Derek, the way of the Lord, by doing righteousness and justice, so that the Lord may bring upon Abraham what he has spoken about him. Psalm 27:11, because of my adversaries, show me your way and lead me on a level path. This is one of the names of our movement that is found in the Bible. There are 3 names for our movement. Can anyone remember the other 2? The Nazarenes, the Christians, and the way. Yeah, these are the 3 names. Now, in our faith, we love adjectives, don't we? And if you passed any churches coming to Hebrew class this morning, you notice there's a lot of adjectives, right? What are some adjectives we use? Community, messianic, free will, missionary, Baptist, Assembly of God, what? Holiness, city, springs, right? We use a lot of these different adjectives to try to capture in a few short words what we are about, right? And in the first century, that was not the case. They really didn't use a lot of adjectives, and there were about 3 that they used. The way is one of them, the way. Okay, haderek. And this is where we see this. The way is used the most. Of all 3 names, it's used 5 times to describe us, the followers of Messiah, the followers of Yeshua of Nazareth. Acts 9:2, and you can read through these. A lot of these are just talking about the synagogues in Damascus. This is Paul going to find people of the way, the members of the way, and to persecute them and have them thrown in prison. And then Acts 19, but when some became stubborn and continued in unbelief, speaking evil of the way, before the congregation he withdrew from them. So now Paul is a member of the way, and he's a proponent of it and a preacher of it. Acts 19:23, about that time there arose no little disturbance concerning the way. All right? So you can go on, you can write these down, or you take a photo of it if you want, or I can send these slides to you. But 5 times we see the way being used to describe us, okay? At that time, there did not exist this thing called Baptist, Assemblies of God, Catholics, Messianic. We didn't even use that term. You know, that wasn't a thing back then. It's more of an English term. But we use this term to describe ourselves, right? And why the way? And studying it out, actually kind of, I had a moment of aha right here. To guard the way to the tree of life. We should know the way to the tree of life. And what is the tree of life?
Yeshua.
Yeshua is, yeah. He hung on a tree to give us life, right? So we know and we're familiar with and we guard the way to the tree of life, right? It doesn't mean that we prevent people from approaching the tree of life. It just means that Yeshua says that he is the door. He is the door. He says, no one comes to the Father except through me. In other words, if you want to get back into the garden, here's the way. You are the way as well. You know the way, you guard the way, and you're letting other people, you're directing people back to my presence through me, the door, right? So we're guarding it in the sense that we're maintaining the way in terms of trying to get it back to what it was in biblical times, trying to get it back what it was in the first century. And knowing that man throughout 2,000 years has dumped all kinds of tradition and pollutants in on the way to try to divert us from the way, or maybe even unintentionally diverted us from the way. But our job is to keep the way straight, to keep the way clear of debris, and allow people to have access to the way and say, you know, stay on this path. This will take you to the garden, so to speak. This will take you to the door and have access to the garden. So that to me was really stood out. The other reason we call ourselves the way is because Yeshua said he is the way, the truth, and the life, right? And no man comes to the Father except through me. So we say, hey, if you want access to the Father, I can tell you how. I can show you the way. I can show you the truth. I can show you the life, right? That's why we call ourselves the way, and that's why we were called the way, the haderek. The other thing we were called is this word right here. Does anyone want to try to sound this word out? The notzri. Notzri. A notzri is a very fascinating word. And let me do the same thing I did before, except I'm going to add a letter on the back of this. I'm going to add a suffix on this letter. Instead of a prefix out here, I'm adding a suffix. So I took this word and just added, what letter is that in red? Mem. The final mem. This makes it a plural word. Notzrim now. Notzrim. Which makes it, well, we'll talk about the meaning here in a second, but I want someone to go to Jeremiah 31:6, please. Jeremiah 31:6. We're going to see this word. I think, are you on it, Joshua?
31:6?
Yeah, Jeremiah 31:6. I want to show you what this word notzri means and what that implies for us as believers.
For a day will come when the watchman on Mount Ephraim will call, come, let us go up to Zion, to Adonai our God.
A day will come when the watchmen do what?
We'll call.
Will call.
Will call. What will their call be?
Come, let us go up to Zion, to Adonai our God.
Okay, where is the word notzri in there? It's the word watchman. The word watchman. So a notzri is a watchman. They're watching and they're calling out, come, let's go to Zion. Let's go up to the mountain. A notzri, if you go to Israel today and you say the word notzri, what do you think their ears hear? A Christian. Yeah, they don't use the word Christian in Israel today. If you're conversing with an Israeli and you say, I am a Christian, that doesn't, they might, if they understand English, understand what that means. But if you say notzri, I'm a notzri, they hear you're a follower of Yeshua of Nazareth. But simultaneously, that word also means a watchman. So you're saying, I am a watchman. Isn't that interesting? And what are we watching for?
Our Lord.
We're watching for the return of the king, right? So isn't that interesting, all this language of like hearing the king coming? We have Besorah. Our army's been victorious. The king sits on his throne. And then we're watchmen for the king's return. Isn't that interesting? It's the idea of like a city, right? The idea of a kingdom. And
There's another word for watchman. There's another word for watchman.
I don't know off the top of my head. Shamar. Shamar means a guard.
There's no I can't remember.
Okay. But this word notzri or notzrim, it means to keep, to watch, or to be a watchman, okay? And I took a hey and I put a hey in front of there, and now it says ha notzrim. Ha notzrim. The notzrim. You guys are ha notzrim, the notzrim, the watchmen, okay? And where do we get this from? And why were the believers called the notzrim? Well, it comes from a couple different places. Acts 24:5. For we have found this man to be a plague. We're talking about Paul there, right? Paul, an agitator among all the Jews throughout the Roman world, and a ringleader of the sect of the Notzrim, the Nazarenes. Also, this word Notzrim comes from the town. What's the name of the town? Natseret, okay? A netzer is, it's the same root as a notzri, but a netzer, now I've got these, I like using this analogy because I've got these things in my yard called Chinese privet. Chinese privet are invasive species of a tree or a shrub, and they're hard to kill. But what I do is I'll take my chainsaw and I'll saw them down as slow as I can to the ground, and then I'll take some lysosphate, some Roundup, and I'll pour it on the stump. Okay, and I'll try to kill the tree because they're very invasive and they're actually they're toxic for birds to eat. So I'll try to kill the stump. Well, there's times where I'll come back months later after I do that, and I look at the roots, and the roots go under the ground, and then over here, there's a little sprout that popped up from that tree. And I'm like, what? I thought I killed you. You know, and there's like a little thing that's popped up, and if I let that grow, it's going to grow into the same exact tree, if not hardier. But that is a netzer. That little shoot that popped up, that's in Hebrew what we would call a netzer. So Yeshua grows up in this town called Netzeret, which means the town of the shoot. So it's a stump that's been cut, and then there's a little shoot. And this was prophesied in the Bible, in the Tanakh, in the Hebrew text, that says that he will be from the stump of Jesse. He will be a netzer that shoots up from the seemingly dead thing, where there is no hope for a king or anything like that. But then over here, there it is. Uh-oh, the king is here, right? And that's why he's called the netzer. And he's the king of, he's the Yeshua of Netzeret. And that's why we call ourselves the little Netzerim, the Notzrim, okay? We're like the little shoots that pop up where you think it's been cut low, where you think there's no hope, you know, like Yeshua's been crucified, this Yeshua movement has been squashed, it's been persecuted, we've been imprisoned, but there it is, it shoots up from where you least expect it, all right?
As a side note, the olive tree, of course, olive tree representing Israel.
Yeah.
The netzer is very obvious in some of the gardens in Israel, the
Yeah.
little shoot coming out. Also today, interesting enough, the word is also used for the safety of a rifle.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
Safety.
The netzer, that's it. It's
That's-
considered the safety on the Israeli rifle.
That's interesting. Okay, I didn't know that. For those who didn't hear, and I'll say this for people on YouTube as well, it's Netzeret
Yeah.
is used for the safety mechanism on a rifle. So that's interesting. Wonder why they chose that word. That's the concept of a netzer and the notzrim. We're watchmen, but we're also people of life and hope. You know, we sprout up from where you think there is death, right? The word says that we were dead in our trespasses, right? Then there was a new life, right? Or a new creation. Yeah.
I know it would be called a safety because when you have your weapon on safe, you're watching over it.
Yeah.
Right? So you're actually guarding your weapon and keeping it safe.
Yeah, so maybe it's like a guard. Yeah.
So that's why they would call it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good idea. Yeah, good point.
I think it's shoot or not to shoot.
Shoot, yeah.
You got it.
Shoot or not to shoot. Oh yeah. And then John 19:19, Pilate also wrote an inscription and put it on the cross, and it was written, Yeshua ha-Notzri v'melech ha-Yahudim. And if you take the first letter of each of those words, Yeshua, Yod, ha-Notzrim, He, v'melech, Vav, ha-Yahudim, He. Yod, He, Vav, He. What does that spell? That's the name of God. Huh. I wonder why they flipped their lid when they put that sign up above his head then.
Can you say that again?
Yeah. Yeshua, Yod. Ha-Notzri is He. V'melech, Vav. Ha-Yahudim, He. That would have been on the sign. The sign was written in either 2 or 3 languages above his head, depending on what gospel you read. But some say Hebrew, Latin, and Greek. Some say Hebrew, Greek, and Aramaic or something. The languages are different. But anyways, that would have been on 2 different places. So just to recap, our movement goes by 3 names. The Christians. Now the Christian is a Greek term, and it just means little Christ, right? This is used twice in the book of Acts, Christians is. And it was originally meant as a derogatory term, as a cut down. Some people think that they were called, oh, you little Christ, all right? And in a classical sense, we are absolutely Christians. We are little Christ. And I'm not ashamed to use that term over our faith. We're Christians. And then also, we're called the way, Haderek, right? We guard the way, we know the way. And then we're called the Notzrim, we're watchmen. But we're also places of unexpected hope in life, right? So, any questions from you guys about, yeah?
Not really a question, but in the Greek translation, Christian or Christ actually means anointed one.
Yeah, it means anointed one. It corresponds with the Hebrew Mashiach. And at some point, we'll do a foundations class on what it means to be messianic. So we have this word out there on that sign that says messianic, and I like that adjective. It wasn't an adjective used in the book of Acts, so I don't really cling onto it for dear life. But it's a good term. Messianic implies that you're like Messiah. But maybe next week we'll do one on what it means to be messianic, because a lot of people ask me questions. Like just this week, I had a question: do I need to grow a beard? What's with all the beards, you know? Or someone asked me a question: do I have to be Jewish? You know, you get all kinds of questions like that, and I would love to do a quick little series on what it means to be messianic, maybe next week, because people who are new to this don't really know for sure what that implies. So anyways, any other questions or comments? You guys learn anything today?
How do you spell Melech?
Melech is Mem, Lamed, final Kuf. Melech. And Melech is also angel. Malak is angels, messenger. Yeah.
Every time you have a day in front of the word, it's
Not 100% of the time. If you want to say the word the, you have to use a he. But there are words that start with a he that don't necessarily mean it's a the. I'm trying to think of one. Yeah, Haman. I think it's Haman. Would just be spelled with a he. Yes. Yeah, it's going to mean the 100% of the time, yeah. But if you ever see a Hebrew word with a hey in front of it, don't just assume that it's the word the. You know what I'm saying? All right? A good question, though. Yeah?
Just a statement, especially for those going to Israel for the first time. It's better to use the word believer than to use the word Christian. Jews know their history, and the word Christian is just, to them, they put us all together in the Catholic Church. unless those that have had contact with evangelicals or whatever.
Okay.
So when you use the word Christian, their history comes up. You're much better just to say, I'm a believer in Yeshua.
Yeah. Yeah.
The conversation will continue.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right, because when they
in a
hear
much more way.
Christian, they think,
Especially your more
Sacred Heart
Orthodox, I'm not
Jesus
talking about
and
even
all.
your ultra, but even just your conservative Orthodox.
Yeah.
That could shut down a conversation.
yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of Jews to this day even attribute the Holocaust
Absolutely.
to the church and
Absolutely.
Christianity.
Absolutely.
And so when they hear Christian, there's like a knee-jerk
Yeah, reaction.
mindset of, okay, this person doesn't like me. This person is anti-Semitic. But when you say follower of Yeshua, that, there isn't that wall that goes up immediately. Yeah, that's a good point. Anything else, guys?
When you bring up Messianic, when you teach on that, you know this,
Mhm.
that to tell someone in Israel you're Messianic, well, the Orthodox Jews will say, well, so am I.
Yeah,
I mean, you need to understand the context of that word
Yeah.
in terms of Mashiach.
yeah, that's a good point. Did you hear that? So if you say if you describe yourself in Israel as being Messianic, an Orthodox rabbi even would say, so am I. Especially if you talk to a Chabad rabbi who maybe potentially believes in Menachem Schneerson as being the Messiah, they're going to say, so am I.
Exactly.
So they would describe themselves as Messianic Jews as
So
well.
it's good for us to know why we use that word
Yeah.
and how to use that.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
I think, yeah, it's just important we talk to our congregation too about using the words, because sometimes other denominations or people have hijacked that word. For instance,
Yeah.
like Mormons, they
Yeah.
would say they're Christians.
Yep.
And so we gotta define our terms.
Yeah.
Talk about certain things, because they would say Jesus, they believe in Jesus and Yeshua, but
Yeah.
it's a different Jesus.
Right,
than
right.
the one we see in the scripture, so there's always gonna be some kind of defining of our terms.
Yeah.
Of who we're really talking about, who do we really say that he is,
Right.
according to scripture. So
I really like saying a follower of Jesus or a
Yeah.
follower of Yeshua,
Well, I
which
like that too.
it means
Right,
that I'm just trying to live like he lived.
right.
So
Yeah.
all the other stuff has to fall by the wayside, and it's just if there's something that in his life that goes counter to all that stuff, then that so it's a lot safer of a term, and it's a lot more challenging of a term too, in a sense, because sometimes we hide behind those adjectives and let those adjectives just kind of define us. So we throw those things out there and say, this is me in a word, basically. I'm a Baptist. And sometimes we kind of almost get reliant on those adjectives, whereas if we say, I'm a follower of Yeshua, follower of Jesus, then we're saying, I'm trying to live like he lived and give, what may come. So, good points. Anything else? Cool, we're finishing a little early, so that's good. We're going to go through the Hebrew alphabet a couple more times, and then we'll close in prayer, and then we'll get set up for a Shabbat service this morning. So, let's start with, yeah, I didn't give you time to do that, did I? Do you want to take 5 minutes instead of doing this and do those charts real fast? Okay, let's do that. I'm sorry, guys. Take 5 minutes and go through those, and then, no wonder we finished early. And everyone say, thanks, Jackie. Hey, how are you?
You might want to point out that
Oh, the third word down, last letter of the third word, it got cut off a little bit. That's a hey in there. It got cut off by the copy machine. Apologies. Huh? Okay. All right. Sounds good. You can get one. About 4 more minutes, guys.
Is Otis sign?
What?
Is Otis sign?
Yep. If you want, you can try to connect it to the English. It's up to you. It's
Hard.
Yeah. I kind of increased the difficulty a little bit this week for you. Calvin, there's I don't know if you drink coffee or anything like that, but help yourself to coffee and stuff right in there.
Thanks.
There's tea and stuff.
Appreciate it.
Is people, yeah.
I just remember that list that I did on notes, like Amenadab meant people or something. So, yeah, so, like, I just remember reading those roots, like, I did this
Yeah.
study.
Once you crack all those roots and you're able to expand, yeah, you can it really enhances your ability to read. I wrote day twice. My apologies. That was a mistake. I wrote day twice. All right, I did these on my planning period yesterday while trying to lesson plan as well. Yeah. All right, take about 2 more minutes, guys.
Actually, Pharaoh is what's missing, just the English word Pharaoh.
Oh, okay, okay. Hey, Bob.
Oh, okay. The whole.
Pharaoh is not, Pharaoh is not.
And then final.
Okay.
You say Hoshek is to know?
That's what I'm thinking, it's only,
Oh, is that the?
it's the only one I have left.
I'm trying to steal some answers next door, so I don't know if they're okay. How are you guys?
Better you not, I don't have you down on here either.
Convoluted and stuff. Does anybody need help? You said my name. You said my name. I'll give you the answer to it. There's no Pharaoh in the third column, guys. I'm sorry.
So that you're still going tomorrow?
Yep. All right. For the sake of time, let me go over these with you guys. Starting at the top left-hand corner up here, let's go through the first word in the first column and see if you got it right. The first word is lev. Lev. And that's going to correspond with the English word heart. Lev is your heart. Okay? The next word is oat. Oat. The reason why the olive is making an O sound, we'll cover that next week, because you see the little dot next to the olive? Olive, it's saying O. He's catching the ball above his head, so it goes oat. And oat is a sign or a wonder. A sign or a wonder. The next word is paro. Paro is Pharaoh. And I don't have a Pharaoh in the third column here. The next word down is yada. Yada means to know or understand. Yada. Next word, Ivrim. Ivrim. What is Ivrim? A Hebrew. The Hebrews. Literally someone who has crossed over. Ivrit is the language of the crossing over, the people who cross over. You guys are studying Ivrit. And then the next one down is Am. Am. What does Am mean? Nope.
People.
People. Am is people.
Am Yisrael Kai.
Yeah. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael. That's the people of Israel, the people of Israel, the people of Israel live, is what we're singing now. Bates. That's house is the next one down. Beit is a house. Next word down is Yisrael. Yisrael, it means to struggle with God, to strive or to wrestle with God. Yisrael is Israel. Then we have a Choshek. Choshek, yeah. Good question. Did I skip one? No? You good? Choshek. What is Choshek?
Darkness.
Darkness. Then we have Or. Or is light. Choshek and Or, which we're going to see in this week's teaching today on the plagues of Egypt. Then we have Chazak. Chazak. Hey Lucy, we're worried about you this morning. You weren't here early. Oh. Chazak means to be strong, to be strengthened. Alright? Yom. Yom is the next one. The second to last is Yom. That's a day. Today is Yom HaShabbat, the day of the Sabbath. Yom HaShabbat. Then we have Mut, which is death or to die. Mut. Alright? Anybody get 100% on that? How many get 100% on the connecting the Hebrew with the transliteration? Okay, good. Most of you do. Okay. So now you know the words that correspond, okay? Alright, so you take that home and study that, alright? Very good. Alright, let's close in prayer and then we're gonna set up for Shabbat service, alright? Let's close in prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for this opportunity to study your holy tongue, your Lashon Kodesh. Thank you for these folks that woke up early this morning and came and studied. And I ask that you would just increase their hunger and their zeal for the things of your word, the things of your kingdom. Help us to be true Notzrim who are watching and who are saying, let's go up to Zion. The King is coming. We thank you, Father, for your Son who bled and died on our behalf when we were undeserving of it. And it's in his name we all say, Amen. Amen. You can stop that if you want.